The skin acts as a barrier to protect our body from the environment. It also regulates temperature and detects and fights off infections. Nerves in the skin let us feel things such as touch. The skin is one of the biggest and most complex organs of the body and contains hair follicles, oil glands, sweat glands, nerves and blood vessels. In this program, we will look at the latest research and development being undertaken to combat various skin disorders, such as malignant melanoma, actinic keratosis, acne, atopic dermatitis, eczema and psoriasis. Melanoma, also called malignant melanoma, is a rare type of skin cancer. Melanoma is serious because the cancer can spread to other organs in the body. When cancer spreads, it's known as metastasis. Melanoma can start in an existing mole, but it can also develop in normal-looking skin. Melanoma is relatively rare and makes up 10% of all skin cancer cases. However, melanoma is also responsible for most deaths due to skin cancer. Approximately 2,000 people die every year in England and Wales due to melanoma. The main cause of melanoma is believed to be exposure to the sun. Overusing sunbeds and sun lamps may also increase your risk of developing melanoma.
In the United Kingdom, melanoma rates have quadrupled over the past 30 years, and now over 12,000 cases a year are diagnosed. Over 2,000 people are dying of melanoma every year in the United Kingdom. We feel that many of these deaths are preventable. If we can detect the melanomas earlier, we can save those lives, and we can also save the healthcare system a tremendous amount of money. Verisant technology was incorporated in 2006 here in Canada. It's listed on the TSX Venture Exchange, and it was incorporated in order to bring together a team of high-level academic researchers, corporate finance professionals, and others in order to specifically target the early detection of cancer. The product called the Verisant Aura, developed by the British Columbia Cancer Agency and the University of British Columbia Department of Dermatology, for the detection of skin cancer, including basal cell carcinoma, squamous cell carcinoma, and melanoma, which make up about 95% of skin cancers. These cancers, they can have a huge negative impact on the patient's life as well, because they can be disfiguring, especially if you have one on your head. You can have it on your nose, your ear, your lip, and the sooner it's detected and the sooner that carcinoma is removed, the less scarring there's going to be. One of the great things about the Aura is that we have a very small probe tip. This allows physicians to examine lesions that are between the fingers and toes, in the contours of the ear, behind the ear, all of those places where you would need access with a small probe. Keep in mind, the Verisant Aura was developed by the British Columbia Cancer Agency, which is responsible for treating all of the cancers in British Columbia for the last 50 years. So this device comes out of a hospital environment. In 2011, the Verisant Aura received regulatory approval in Canada, Europe, and Australia. The market for the Aura is large and growing, and over the next 5 years could include general practitioners, dermatologists, community healthcare facilities, and hospitals on both sides of the Atlantic and in Australia. In Europe alone, there are 21,000 dermatologists and approximately 500,000 general practitioners. Members of the medical community recognize the importance of early detection of skin cancer and are willing to pay for effective, proven detection technologies that fit into or improve current procedures. Verisant has begun pre-marketing the Aura by exhibiting at leading dermatology conferences in key target markets. The company is currently selecting distributors and will first launch the Aura in Canada, Germany, Austria, Switzerland, and Australia. The Verisant Aura will go into production and sales in the second half of 2012.
Skin cancer is the most common type of cancer that occurs in people. 1 in 7 people is destined to develop skin cancer sometime during their life. If we're talking about people over the age of 65, then 1 in 2 people, 50%, half of all people over the age of 65 will develop some type of skin cancer. Now, skin cancer is treatable, very treatable if you can find it early, because it's sitting there right on the surface, and if you get it at an early stage, when it's relatively small, then it's relatively simple to do surgery, cut it out, and then the skin cancer is gone. That's the end of the story. However, if the skin cancer is not found at an early stage and it grows, then the surgery becomes much more complicated. And even worse, in the situation of something like melanoma, the most serious type of skin cancer, there's a potential for the cancer to spread deeper into the tissue, and worse than that, to other parts of the body. And that's when people may actually die from skin cancer. There really is a need for something more efficient, more accurate, so we can get timely answers to patients in an efficient manner, so that we can find the cancers that really need our attention, that really need our treatment more accurately. The breakthrough with the Verisant Aura has to do with the fact that we're actually using light, just ordinary light, to examine the tissue, but we're using a very specific part of the light that's reflected back from the tissue. It turns out that when we examine patients, when patients, their families, individuals look at their skin and their doctors look at the skin, we're actually using light to make the diagnosis, or to do that first detection phase. There's actually a lot more information that comes back from the skin that we don't see with our eyes, but using the right technology, if you find these very weak but very specific signals, it will tell you a lot about the tissue. And that's what we can do with the Aura. The benefit is that we can use the Aura to scan a spot on the skin that may be suspicious, and depending on the signal we get back from the device, it will display a certain level of suspicion as to whether the spot is more or less worrisome. And that extra information is really helpful to the practicing physician to guide them into making a decision for that patient. The benefit of early detection relates to the fact that it influences how we treat the patient. So if you can detect a cancer at an early stage, then generally that means that the cancer is small. And we know that for treatment, usually the treatment approach is surgical. You cut out the cancer. So if you find it early, when it's small, then generally that means that the area that you have to cut out, the size of the tumor that you have to cut out, is small. And that means, in turn, that the scar is smaller, the disfigurement is less, and that's obviously a real added plus for a patient. So early detection means you get treated faster, but early detection also should mean that the amount of surgery that you require, the amount of disfigurement that's going to happen, the amount of scarring that's going to occur is less. And that's a big plus for any patient with skin cancer, especially those with basal cell cancer and squamous cell cancer, carcinoma. And these are the most common cancers that are occurring in people.
The Verisant Aura has been proven in a 6-year clinical study at the Skin Care Center at Vancouver General Hospital. It was used to scan approximately 1,000 lesions, and the results have shown that the Aura had a very high sensitivity rate of 99% in accurately differentiating all major skin cancers from benign lesions. An earlier Australian study found that the clinical diagnosis of skin cancers and precancers was associated with a sensitivity of 33.8% for malignant melanoma. It's important to note that the results also showed that the Aura can reduce unnecessary biopsies by 50% to 100%.
We're very confident that this device is going to make a real difference and be a valuable tool for doctors in the early detection of cancer.
Actinic keratosis, also known as AK, is caused by long-term exposure of skin to ultraviolet rays contained in the sunlight. It's a very common condition in fair-skinned people, particularly over the age of 50. It appears as single or multiple skin patches which are reddish, rough and scaly. It's common to have this on the areas of this body which are usually exposed to the sun, such as face, ears, scalp, back of hands and lower leg. But it can occur on any part of the body. Actinic keratosis is not a skin cancer, but in a small number of cases it can develop into one, so it's advisable to have a medical opinion. Various treatment options are available, such as creams, freezing, surgery, or exposure to special light, a treatment called photodynamic therapy. We now hear from Photodynamic, an organisation who have developed an innovative self-adhesive patch containing aminolevulinic acid for the photodynamic treatment of actinic keratosis.
Photodynamic is a small pharmaceutical research-oriented company with focus on photosensitizers for the treatment of diseases like oncology or dermatology, and as well for fluorescence-guided diagnosis. The molecules we develop are in this indication fields, and our major focus is currently a molecule called aminolevulinic acid. The small team of Photodynamic was put together about 10 years ago when we started our development. We currently have 2 products based on this molecule, but we also look into other photosensitizers in order to enter into other indications as well. At present, our major product is in skin diseases and focused on the treatment of actinic keratosis, which is a severe precancerous skin lesion. It is a ready-to-use patch, which we developed during the course of our existence, and we are very happy that this is currently in registration in several countries and will be available soon.
Photodynamic therapy, or PDT, is a treatment that's used mainly for the treatment of superficial skin cancers and pre-cancers. It makes use of a topically applied light sensitizing agent that is absorbed into the skin cancer growth. Usually it's covered from light for a period of 3 to 4 hours, and then that cover is removed, and then intense light, usually red light, is used to activate what is this photodynamic reaction that makes use of available tissue oxygen to produce this photochemical reaction that selectively destroys the skin cancer cells. Now, photodynamic therapy has been investigated for potential use in internal cancers using injected photosensitizers. But when we focus on skin cancers, we have the ease of delivery not only of the light sensitizing drug in cream form, but with the ease of delivery also of the light onto the skin. Initially with photodynamic therapy, we were making use of complex laser lights to activate the photodynamic reaction. We don't need that, and high intensity red LED lights, light emitting diode sources, are now in widespread use and allow for simplification of the photodynamic reaction. PDT delivers a relatively specific and localized treatment courtesy of the preferential uptake of the photosensitizer by the more rapidly cycling cancer and pre-cancer cells, and also by the interval when we undertake treatment. There is preferential accumulation of the photosensitizer in the skin cancer compared to the surrounding normal cells. The Alacare aminolevulinic acid is the prodrug that we use in photodynamic therapy. Now, aminolevulinic acid is a chemical that's actually present in most of the living cells in our body, and we make use of an excess accumulation of this chemical to produce the photosensitizer selectively within the tumour and pre-cancerous cells to produce the photodynamic reaction. Now, the photodynamic reaction makes use of available tissue oxygen, this accumulated photosensitizer, and makes use of the intense red light to stimulate this reaction, which essentially is a phototoxic reaction, but we're making good use of this reaction to destroy cancer and precancerous cells. And within the Alacare medicated plaster, this 5-aminolevulinic acid has been specially formulated to be carefully released onto the surface of skin cancers and pre-cancers to accumulate within these growths over a period of 4 hours. And when the plaster is removed and the light shone onto the lesions, then we can initiate this photodynamic reaction and destroy the skin cancer growths.
Spirig Pharma Limited is a Swiss-based pharmaceutical company with more than 60 years of experience in research, development, manufacturing, marketing and distribution of cosmetic and dermatological products. In Switzerland and our 7 subsidiaries, we employ 450 people. And we do also have a very strong network of partners all over the world. At our research and development site in Egerkingen, where we also manufacture our products, 300 colleagues are driving innovation for skin and health. So we can offer excellent products and outstanding services, mainly for the dermatologists, but also for the general practitioners, pediatricians and pharmacists alike. According to our strategy, we focus on 3 main topics. First is sun protection, second is non-melanoma skin cancer, and third is dry and sensitive skin. Daylong is our well-known brand for sun protection, and Exipial is the same for dry skin. With both brands, we are very successful all over our markets, especially in Switzerland, where we are leaders in these segments. Working together with Photodynamics has been a fruitful cooperation from the very beginning. From the first meeting to the successful signing of the licensing agreement with AlaCare Patch, it took only 5 months to complete, and this is really very quick. And this was only possible because both companies worked together like true partners. With our product Daylong Actinica, we have already been active in the prevention of non-melanoma skin cancer. Now, with the acquisition of the rights for AlaCare Patch, we have an effective product also for the treatment of actinic keratosis, and therefore offering us a real unique therapeutic concept. So we can prevent and treat the actinic keratosis, which is really something special for one single company. We are very happy that we can strengthen now our strategic position in the non-melanoma skin cancer market with this acquisition of AlaCare Patch. Launch in our most interesting market, Germany, is just about to happen, and we receive already a lot of positive feedbacks from our customers anticipating the introduction of AlaCare Patch in Germany.
Sun protection factor, or SPF, is a measure of the relative protection that a product will give us from the ultraviolet B rays from the sun, an important aspect in promoting not only sunburn but skin cancer. If we go out in the sun for 15 to 20 minutes, we can begin to burn, and that time is shorter if we have particularly fair skin or if we're at high altitude or near the equator. So whether we be men, women or children, we're all at risk of sunburn. It's important that we try to protect ourselves from the intense rays of the sun. And a sunscreen protection factor of 25 can provide us protection for between 5 and 6 hours. But that's important. What is important is that it's appropriately applied, and it therefore needs to be a product that cosmetically is acceptable. It's important that we don't just focus on UVB protection either. UVA also is in the sun's rays, and that can promote skin cancer development as well. So we're very much focused now with sunscreens on products that have high value protection from ultraviolet B and ultraviolet A. Now, the Daylong range has satisfied the very rigorous standards required to satisfy high protection from ultraviolet B radiation as well as ultraviolet A. In addition to that, they've focused on developing products that are highly cosmetically acceptable and therefore are more likely to be used. And they have shown studies that use of sunscreen will help delay and prevent the development of actinic keratosis, so that we know that they are effective products. As a skin cancer doctor, I'm particularly enthusiastic that we have a company now that is supporting through the Alacare plaster development the wider use and simplification of a highly effective treatment, photodynamic therapy for skin cancer, as well as focusing on the importance of prevention of skin cancer development and prevention of actinic keratosis through the use of sunscreens.
Photodynamic will remain focusing on molecules like amino-leavening acid, and with Alacare we have done a development which is a treatment option for actinic keratosis. We partner with companies to bring this to the market because as a development company we're not focused on marketing and sales. In future we will work on other photosensitizers to further develop targeted approaches in this field.
Light therapy can be used as a complementary therapy in the treatment of various skin conditions, such as acne, atopic dermatitis, eczema, psoriasis, superficial bacterial infections, and mucosal lesions. These skin conditions are quite common, and most people will experience one or more at some point in their life. Although most skin conditions are not life-threatening, they can be very distressing and could have a negative impact on someone's quality of life. Light therapy can help to promote skin healing and reduce the discomfort associated with various skin conditions. The treatment is painless and easy to use. We now hear from Bioptron, who have patented a light therapy device with a specific optical unit emitting light that is similar to the part of the electromagnetic spectrum produced naturally by the sun, but with no UV radiation.
Light. Light, as we know, is the condition of life on this planet. Light is the key element of the natural biological system that sustains our metabolism and immune system, even known in the ancient times. Modern light therapy has its roots in the early 20th century. The Danish physician Niels Ryberg Finsen has been awarded the Nobel Prize in 1903 for his work in light therapy.
Today, it is known that the human organism transforms light into electrochemical energy, which activates a chain of biochemical reactions within cells, stimulating metabolism and reinforcing the immune response of the entire human body.
We would like to present to you a revolutionary discovery in the field of medicine, which absolutely follows this. The Bioptron Light Therapy, medically approved, clinically tested. A revolutionary medical system helping to prevent illnesses, rehabilitate, heal, and fight depression by helping us to regain the energy needed for our everyday lives, and with absolutely no negative side effects.
Bioptron Light Therapy System is a uniquely patented, clinically tested medical device for treatment with light therapy. The light therapy technology is based on a very special optical unit. Bioptron Light Therapy System emits light which in its electromagnetic spectrum is very similar to sunlight but free of UV radiation. Bioptron light is polarized, polychromatic and incoherent low-energy light, and it is these unique characteristics that are responsible for its various biostimulative effects on the cell level.
The so-called power plants of the cell, the mitochondria, produce energy necessary for the nucleus to synthesize DNA. The nuclei then send DNA information to the endoplasmic reticulum, which, thanks to that, can now produce proteins. Bioptron light intensifies these processes. The cell is more alive and it produces more energy.
Bioptron light therapy improves microcirculation, enhances the immune system, stimulates regenerative and reparative processes in the entire organism, promotes wound healing, and can relieve pain or decrease its intensity. It is also scientifically proven that Bioptron light stimulates activity of the cell membrane and improves the absorption of oxygen into tissues, thereby accelerating the cellular regenerative process.
For example, this interaction that takes place in the ionic channels as cell gates of the cell membrane can be intensified by applying Bioptron light therapy as well. The ionic channels are more open and the cell breathes deeply. This is a very important process because this positive interaction of substances between the cell and its environment has a direct effect on the quality of the microcirculation in our blood vessels. Through microstimulation, these enriched substances can reach the far ends of our blood vessel system, even though we have stimulated only a certain part of our body.
Thanks to these properties, Bioptron is successfully used in prevention, healing, and rehabilitation. It is a safe and clinically proven therapy with no known side effects.
ZOSTER has created 3 models of Bioptron: Bioptron Compact 3, Bioptron Pro 1, and Bioptron 2. Each of these models has the same light characteristics, which means that each of them is equally efficient with a dose of light of 2.4 joules per centimeter squared in a minute of treatment duration. They differ in design, options of stands, and the major difference is the size of the filter that covers the area of the treated spot. Bioptron Compact 3 is a very practical device for use at home, at work, or on other occasions. It is light and handy for use at any place. Its stand is specially designed to allow different positions of the device and easy access for treating all body parts. The diameter of the filter is 4 centimeters, and it is suitable for treatment of smaller areas on the body. Bioptron Pro 1 is suitable not only for use at home, but for professional needs as well, like in medical institutions. The device has an option of table and floor stands, which enables its adjustments and directing of the light beam as a user needs. The filter's diameter is 11 centimeters for a majority of medical and cosmetic treatments. Bioptron 2 is primarily intended for professional use in hospitals, clinics, beauty salons, and sports clubs, but it can be used at home as well. The device is set on a special floor stand, which enables its adjustments and directing of the light beam in different positions. The filter's diameter is 15 centimeters, and this is good for treatment of larger areas.
Bioptron light improves the skin defense system by reducing premature aging of the skin, supporting cell renewal, stimulating microcirculation and the flow of nutrients, and also the synthesizing of collagen and elastin.
Bioptron light therapy can be used as a complementary therapy in the treatment of various skin problems, such as acne, psoriasis, herpes simplex and zoster, superficial bacterial infections, atopic dermatitis, mucosal lesions. These type of skin conditions are quite common, and most people will experience one or more of them at some point in their lives.
Further, we found that daily self-treatment using the device is minimizing the signs of aging, and in selective patients reduced the number of acne lesions significantly. The light is safe and improves the user's skin condition. Bioptron proved to be a user-friendly device for everyday skin care.
Bioptron AG was founded in spring 1988 and dedicates its work to research, development and manufacturing of medical devices, the Bioptron light therapy system. In 1996, the company was integrated into the ZOSTER group, which gives the chance to use synergies and to distribute the products to 50 countries worldwide. The Bioptron light therapy system was developed in close cooperation with research departments of universities, clinics and specialists. We constantly test and optimize our products through technical and medical research, through scientific studies that are carried out by independent institutions.
In all its activities, the Bioptron AG company trusts in its competent employees that are constantly trained. This team guarantees excellent work and continuous innovation with outstanding results. It guarantees the quality by an extensive quality control in every step of production. Quality is the primary objective. Bioptron AG has established and maintains a top management system in compliance with ISO 9001.
ZOSTER and Bioptron mission is to develop innovative, high-quality products with the aim of improving health and well-being and enhancing the quality of life. Bioptron light therapy has become accepted as a new form of treatment in prevention, therapy and rehabilitation worldwide, at home and in professional settings. All thanks to the natural biostimulative effects of light therapy by ZOSTER. And remember, nothing can replace your health. Live healthy and live longer.
We hope this programme has gone some way in detailing how technologically advanced medical innovations are helping in the treatment of patients with skin conditions such as malignant melanoma, actinic keratosis, acne, atopic dermatitis, eczema and psoriasis. I'm Georgina Burnett and you've been watching Skin Deep in the NHS, Innovations in Skincare.